If you're an indie game dev and you have a game in the upcoming Steam Next Fest, I know you'll have so many questions. How long should your demo be? How many wishlists do you need? How much visibility do you get from joining? And what about after the festival? You only get one shot at this, so how do you give it your best shot? Here at Impress, we wanted to get you the answers. So earlier this week, my buddy Dan sat down with Chris Zukowski from howtomarketagame.com, and we had a bit of a Q&A in our Discord to answer all your questions. This video is the recording of that session, and there's loads of good stuff here. Before I kick that off, I just wanted to let you know here at Impress we have a free Next Fest readiness checklist. You can use this to make sure you're doing everything you can to make your festival the most successful it can be. You can find the link for that down below, and now let's start the conversation with Dan and Chris.
We're very privileged today to be joined by Chris Zukowski, who really does need no introduction, but for the benefit of perhaps anybody who might not have heard of your work, Chris, would you mind just sharing perhaps your brief origin story and why it might just be quite a good idea that folks should listen to you today?
Yeah, thanks. I do need an introduction. There's always somebody out there. There's always tons of people just joining the industry. So I write this blog called howtomarketagame.com. And basically what I do is I ask people to share their data with me, and people just give me their data, and then I interpret it. And I just publish blog posts once a week. And you can get that notification at howtomarketagame.com/free. And then you get a blog post about me, just random topics like how games are selling, how do you get wish lists, how do you do Next Fest, which we'll be talking about today. So that's my deal. Is I just like numbers. I like spreadsheets. I'm a weirdo. And so howtomarketagame.com free is where you get to see all these weird spreadsheets I put together.
Nice. It's the kind of weird that we love, and it's great to have you here. And as you said, we're here to talk about Next Fest. Next Fest is looming, and we thought, well, this is definitely a topic that we should cover. We do these regular knowledge shares. We recently had Rami Ismail, we had Renee from Bip and Bits, and a whole bunch of other awesome people that have been on. And with this Next Fest thing looming, we thought, who do we need to speak to? And there's only one person that came to mind, and that was Chris Z. So we've broken this up into kind of like before Next Fest, during Next Fest, after Next Fest. So we're going to be running through a kind of a Q&A with Chris. We've got some questions lined up, but we're going to try and make some time at the end. So if you do have questions of yourselves, then pop them in the chat, and we'll try and get as much covered as we possibly can. Let's kick off. Before Next Fest, I'd love just a quick summary of your thoughts and how Next Fest has evolved since you've been sort of paying attention to this. And is there anything new or changed recently that people should be aware of?
Yeah, I think it changes every time. But the most recent change, which is about a year ago, Valve kind of like evolved it. So Next Fest, it kind of got boring. Next Fest is kind of boring now. It used to be like, oh, anybody could succeed or anything. Now it's just kind of like everybody just gets about the same depending on what you go in to coming out. So there's nothing really exciting. I want an exciting story for you all, but the exciting story is that it's actually boring. So I'd say the Next Fest thing is the games with the best wish lists get the most out of Next Fest, and the games that are kind of like in the middle of the pack do okay, they don't do bad, and then the games that don't do well, they don't do well. And so that's kind of the change. Valve took away stuff that doesn't really matter. Like there used to be these live streams you would do, and they realized devs hate to be on camera. Developers hate talking about themselves and being front and center. So Valve's like, why did we do that? So they get rid of that requirement. You can still do a live stream if you want. Doesn't matter either way. I say do it. People are going to ask about it. Should I do a live stream? Do it. I mean, you're paying for it. You're paying a lot of money to showcase your game on Steam. And then that's when you do. And so that's essentially where Next Fest is.
Very cool, very cool. And before we came on, we were chatting about kind of like some of the roles that we may have to do in kind of consulting lives and things like that, and we have to break some bad news sometimes for people. So in that vein, there's probably a certain state that a game needs to be in to really make the most of being in Next Fest. What is that, and perhaps what should people consider as to whether they're ready for Next Fest or not?
Yeah. Okay. So let me one more thing set Next Fest, kind of how it's changed. Like Next Fest is probably not even anymore going to be your best festival. It's like so I keep track of these festivals. It's one of the other services I do is howtomarketagame.com/festivals. You go there, you see all the festivals that are accepting entries. Some of those themed festivals that are very specific do very well for games. If it's like games where you're a dude with a sword and it's in medieval times, those do very well because it's like a very specific genre. And if you're in that genre, that's awesome. Whereas Next Fest is so many games and everybody gets access to it one time. There's so much. So that's there. So yes, it's not as good as it's not the best way to get wish lists, but everybody should do it. It's all there. And so that's what you should do for Next Fest. Sorry, I think I lost what the question was.
The question was what position do you need to your game, your page, or whatever? Like what should you be getting into the arena if what?
Oh, okay. That thing. Sorry about that. I was just checking because people were asking about my mailing list and how to join it. If you have Mozilla or VPN or ad blockers, you're not going to see the sign up. Turn those ad blockers off, everybody. The internet's more fun when you can see all the fun stuff. Blockers just put cold water on the party. The cool stuff's happened. So join the mailing list by turning off those ad blockers and VPNs and all that business. Anyway, okay. So here we go. Regarding what the way you actually do best and when you should enter Next Fest is you should always do the last one, and we can look at the stats. I think we'll talk about this. But what I found is think of Next Fest as just a big multiplication. It's just a big amplifier. It's like a megaphone where the number of wish lists you have going in is going to increase going through Next Fest. It's just pretend it's like a giant times 10, not literally times 10. Just imagine that. So if you go in with low wish lists, you're going to do okay. If you go in with a lot of wish lists, you're going to do very well. It's just a big multiplication function. Okay. And so that's why I always recommend do the last Next Fest before you launch because you'll have the most wish lists. So you'll be multiplying by the most wish lists. And the other thing is your demo should already be out. Release that demo months and months and months and months and months and months before, because when you launch a demo, you can show up on this thing called new and trending free, and everybody waits to the last minute to launch their demo during Next Fest. So you all crowd each other out. You want to do it. You want to release your demo in a nice quiet time when they're on all these festivals releasing. And so you get more featuring and visibility. Some people even misinterpret. They think that Steam Next Fest is the only time you launch your demo. No. You can launch your demo anytime before. It's not a requirement. In fact, you should not launch your demo during Next Fest. So that's kind of the basic rules.
Nice. And that kind of leads into my next question, which is is this a good time to launch our Steam page? So I'm guessing no. You wanna make sure this is not when you're first revealing your game.
No, and here's the other thing is, Next Fest is your grand finale, so you want to make sure everything's perfect. So you've run through the demo. Lots of people have played the demo. You've fixed bugs because your demo always sucks at the beginning. It's going to suck, folks. And so you find out it sucks months ago, and you built it and you fixed it, and then demos on Next Fest are like, the best. So don't launch during a Steam page or a demo during Next Fest.
Nice. Is it a good time to maybe update your demo if you've been around for a little bit? Is that going to help?
Yeah, like I would, because here's one thing that you can do. It kind of juices the numbers. This is one technique people do is maybe 6 months ago you launched your demo and you got a lot of feedback, and you keep that demo up, you fix it, and then like a month or two before Next Fest you pull your demo, and you do that to build anticipation, and then you say like, oh, the new demo with new levels are coming out or a new biome. And you wait and you launch it just before in the days before Next Fest, because Next Fest still has a thing where there's some trending. This really only works if you're in the like 70,000 to 100,000 wish list range. Like you already have 75 to 100,000 because you've got more momentum. You can say like, oh, we're going to debut a new version of the demo. And then a lot of people are excited and they play that demo in the 24 to 48 hours before Next Fest. And that will get you up onto, usually Steam has this, the thing has a thing called trending demos, and if you've got enough velocity going in, and we're talking 75,000 to 100,000, that level of velocity, 1,000 wish lists, you can sometimes goose that to get to the top. If you're not, still release a new version of the demo, that could help, but it's not going to be supercharged.
Nice, very cool. And is there any other perhaps like generic Steam hygiene that we should make sure that we are? I think you're painting a good picture. This is not the time to be just about limping your Steam page out there and just about throwing your first demo up. Any other kind of good practice, good hygiene of a good Steam presence to have going into Next Fest?
Yeah, so some people are going to ask this question like, "Oh my God, hey, we're coming down on the wire. We're just about to launch a demo. It's going to be tight. Could I pull my demo and tell Steam now?" If you're at all doubting, I think there's still time whether you're going to have the thing ready and the page launched. Just pull out of NextFest. You can always tell Valve, "Hey, we want to pull out." You should be like very comfortably going into NextFest. This is not a time to do all those patches at the last minute. So the other hygiene, so again, this is not last minute. The other hygiene things is make sure your screenshots are up to date. Make sure you do what's called a creator page. People always forget this thing. Just search on Steam. Just search Steamworks developer creator page. You just want, when you click your name on your Steam page, it should go to something where they can follow you as a developer. That's an important thing. But for the most part, it really comes down to how many wishlist you have going into it and how good your demo is. That's the big stuff.
Nice. Very cool. And is there, outside of your Steam page, the other promotion that we should be doing? So do creators and do the press care that we're going to be participating? Should we be chatting about that? Should we be leveraging our community? Should we sort of what sort of activities outside of Steam are relevant or not?
Yeah, it's kind of late to tell you all now, but about a month ago, you should have been reaching out to content creators to say, "Oh, hey, we got a new version of the demo. You played this demo. Remember, this is what you launched that demo way early. Like, you loved our demo in version 1. Well, guess what, content creator who loved our demo? We got version 2, and it's going to hold a new biome. And we implemented that feedback that you gave us. We took that to heart. We implemented it. You're goosing up your community that's already played your game." And then those content creators who loved you before are going to play you again. And you're like, "Hey, we're launching the demo. Do you want to play it before anybody else?" You can do it 2 days before, and so you get your content creators to do that. It's a little too late for that now. I'm sorry. It's a little too late to do that now. And so just anticipate for the next time. And for those, I'm saying this now for those people who are planning ahead for the next fest, which is in February. Mm-hmm. So those are the best things. But again, folks, it's really like this game really matters of what you want to do. Some people ask, "Oh, what about paid ads?" The heavy hitters who are going to do very well in Next Fest are the games coming in with 100,000 wish lists. Those, if you're coming in that hot, it might make sense to pay a little bit for ad money to boost, to do some ads to get there. But I don't recommend that for people coming in. Maybe you're coming in with a couple thousand wish lists or something, or a couple hundred. Paying is just, you're not going to compete with the big boys. The big boys are just going to drown you out, and you're just throwing money away. So just, if you're not at 100,000 wish lists and you're ready to release, play the good game, try your hardest, but don't spend a lot of money trying to boost it up. That you're playing with some heavy hitters, and they're just going to swamp you. You're just not going to do well.
And as far as your demo is concerned, are there any sort of like quality bar that you should be out, any common gotchas that you see, just making sure your demo is in the right state?
Make sure you've got a good demo. Don't have a bad demo. Don't. Some of you, I saw it. You said I was going to do a bad one. Don't do it. Only good demos.
Nice.
I don't know. Let me limit myself. I am not a game designer. I've designed games, but they weren't great. That's where the limit of my expertise is, the game design side. So get feedback from a really good game designer, not me. I don't know. I'm just a filthy, dirty marketer. Don't listen to me. For game design.
Likewise, but I guess it's good if you can really force yourself to take that perspective. Play some other demos. Are we as good as this demo? Are we better than this demo? Not, "Oh, we've made it, we're proud of it." But actually, if we get somebody else to play it, can we get some brutally honest feedback from our peers and, like say, the sort of expert game designers?
Here's one thing that I have seen is I do track like median playtimes, and we find that games that have a median playtime, not average, median playtime of about 45 minutes or greater, they tend to do better wishlist wise. It just seems like that sort of correlates 45 minutes with people find this game engaging, and they're like, "Man, this is really fun," and they keep playing it over and over again. If you don't have that 45 minutes, it's like something's wrong with the game. Now, you could have a narrative game that's like a 15-minute narrative demo. That's a different story. But for most games that do well in Steam are highly replayable. And so if you've got a highly replayable game and people are still only playing it for like 10, 15 minutes, that's a game design problem that I cannot solve, but you need to figure it out.
Nice. So yeah, for the record, like I say, this is not the time to be having your demo first launch, you want to have these statistics already into mind. Have we got the right wish list? Are we reaching the right playtime? And like say, maybe it's time to whether you should consider withdrawing if you're not at that point yet. Really useful. So Steam has a bunch of other features, Steam discussions, news, announcements. Are any of these sort of perhaps less obvious tools worth experimenting with, or are they not going to move the needle much?
Do them, but they're not going to change the course. I mean, you should always just do them, like create an announcement so that when people go to your page, they can see the little announcement and it makes your page look vibrant and it looks like you're a developer who's doing stuff. But it's not like, here's one weird trick, people, do an announcement and you get a free 100,000 wish list. No, it's not that. But you should still do it. Just don't expect a lot out of it.
Nice. It's very, very handy. And yeah, you've kind of alluded to this, but I guess just to sort of focus it in, what are the indicators that this we're doing well or we're potentially going to do well? So you talked about wish lists, we talked about playtime. Any other kind of measures or indicators we should be looking out for?
Do you mind if I share a chart? We can
Please do.
All right, I'm going to go live with a chart. I don't know if this might blow up everything, but who knows? Okay, so this is a chart. Okay, one thing to check. So here's what Valve does. Steam, the first 2 days of Steam Next Fest, they give every game a baseline. This is the core thing, a baseline of visibility. I estimate it's around, we call them impressions. So when you scroll through Steam, there's various widgets. This is in the past, it could change, but in the past, it's somewhere around typically like maybe 40,000. You can kind of see it on the left side of this chart. This says impressions from Steam page. Somewhere around just under, let's say 35,000, all the way down to about 10,000. Somewhere in that range, they'll give you that the first 2 days. And then you'll see the second day, this is the February Next Fest. So you see February 24th, February 25th, it goes up. And that's good. That's Valve going, all right, let's see the game. Let's show you out. And then Steam says, well, let's see how you did. And if you don't do well on the second day, Valve's like, thanks for playing, kids. We're going to cut your visibility. And so these are tiers of games and how many wishlists they got and going into it. So you'll see with this gold and silver, they kind of maintain that day 2. So what I would recommend is look at your day 3 visibility. On the third day of Steam Next Fest, look at your visibility. Did it go down significantly? And then the fourth day, did it go down? On this bronze tier, as I call it, these games are like, the Steam audience said, we're just not interested. And then Steam's like, okay, we saw that. And they just suppress your game. This is why I say just make a good game. Because everybody gets equal visibility at the start. Now, that blue line, those are the big boys. You know how I said that the big boys? Those games go in hot with like 100,000, 500,000 big-time wish lists. They get featured on the widgets. That's why on day 2, they get like 140,000 impressions you can kind of see right in there, and they just maintain that through Steam. So those are the big boys. That just know going in what you're competing with, okay? And so this is just a good way to kind of level set yourself as to where you are going into this. There aren't that many surprises with Steam Next Fest. You kind of know how it's going to go. So if you're going with low wish lists, expect low results, okay?
Very cool. No, it's useful, and yeah, it's good to be aware of these things going in. Absolutely. I'm going to just pick a couple of questions from the chat as we're doing good on time. We've got one from DPU. If you're an indie dev team with a demo released a week or 2 prior to Next Fest, and we might have covered some of this. Do you think it's best to hold off on publisher offers until after Next Fest? So I guess there's 2 things there. There's the timing, and then there's the conversations with publishers. If you've got any opinion on that.
Okay, so I'm not sure if I understand. So they're doing Steam. So let's do question 1. So they want to do Steam Next Fest and it's last minute, or what was the?
I guess we've covered the proximity. If you're releasing your demo a week or 2 prior to Next Fest, I guess it depends on the numbers that you're seeing.
Here's the thing: is I would highly recommend, if you can still do it, pulling your game. And this is the big mistake that I see a lot of people do. They go, I'm going to do Steam Next Fest to kind of kick off the visibility. We're going to bam. We're kind of slow. We want to get some visibility, so we're going to do Next Fest. Pull it, folks. This is the best advice I can give. If you've got the time, like in other words, like if you could still release your game, like this isn't the end of your release, pull it. See if you can write a little letter to Valve. I think you still have time. that says, "Hey, can we pull our release?" And let me just switch on here. So can you see this? This chart. I did this analysis. Again, this is the multiplier. Like I said, whatever you have going into Steam Next Fest is what you get out of it. And so here's what's going to happen is if you are looking for a publisher and you're just kicking off your demo, I don't think this is a strong situation that you're putting yourself in, because you're going to have a low. It sounds like you don't have a lot of wish lists because you don't have a demo out. So you're not going to get most out of it. And then publishers are going to be like, well, you already shot your one bullet. Because that's the thing, is you only got one Steam Next Fest. And if you already shot that bullet, you're already looking bad in front of a publisher. They're like, well, one of our things we'd like to do is help our people have a good Next Fest. You took that away. You just threw away that bullet. And it's not going to give you much visibility because remember, it's a multiplier. So what this chart does is I looked at, and all this data that I'm showing is people who submitted from the February Next Fest. I think I got about 250 games, told me how their Next Fest was. And if you went in with under 1,000 wish lists, you really didn't, that's that first row, you really didn't get many wish lists out of it. And so if you're hoping to go to Next Fest, you're like, this is how we turn things around. We're going to boom, blast off. You don't. You went in low, you're going to end up with low. And then your publishers are going to be like, why'd you have such a bad Next Fest? And then you got to explain why, oh, sorry, no. That's not how you do it. I would pull it. I'm honest. I would, in my situation, I would just pull that demo, get yourself out of Next Fest, still launch your demo, wait until after Next Fest, launch your demo well after Next Fest when it's nice and quiet, reach out to content creators, and then you can go to a publisher. Because I think you should launch your demo and then go get a publisher and say, look, we launched our demo just on a Thursday, just a regular day, and look how many content creators played it. It's a nice quiet time. Folks, Next Fest is not the time to make a big bang or turn around the ship or try and boost that visibility. No, it just amplifies. It does it. Whatever course you're on, it just maintains that course. Okay, so be very careful with your Next Fest.
Very, very sage. Excellent. Quick question. I don't know if VR is an area you've looked into. There's somebody, they've got a VR demo, they've got quite low playtime, but they suspect it could be because people are not aware that it's VR, so they're checking it out and this is VR, so the playtime gets dropped. Is that viable? Do you think that's a thing, or you're not sure?
I'm gonna be honest. I'll just be honest. VR games on Steam always do terribly. I know super hot in there's a couple games, but VR games on Steam just notorious for doing poorly. And it could be people going, oh, it's a VR game, but that's just VR on Steam. They're very hard sell to do VR on Steam. So I think that's the bigger issue. It could be some other fine-tuned things in there, but I'm just going to be honest. It's the VR-ness of it.
That's definitely something I've heard as well. That's fair enough. Sorry, you said before this, you hate being the bad guy, and I'm just throwing all these questions at you that makes you have to share. But we've got to be realistic. It's got to be cruel to be kind.
Yeah.
Similarly, I don't know if there's an area of expertise. I'm just asking about sort of itch and whether there's any indicators or your use in terms of using itch.io for perhaps even pre-Steam analytics or anything like that. Have you seen any trends there?
Yeah, I read a blog post on this. If you go to my blog, howtomarketagame.com, and then just search itch.io, I found that there are developers they'll do a game jam game, and then they put their game jam game up on itch.io, and they've used itch.io to vet whether it's worth making a whole Steam game out of it. Itch.io doesn't do a whole lot for driving traffic, but if you put a free demo out, let's say it's a game jam stage, and you're like, should I spend the time and money to make this a full Steam game? You can vet it on itch, and if nobody wants it on itch for free, it's probably not going to do well as a Steam game. And so you can be like, whew, saved myself a year of development, thank you. And so you kind of use that as a test, a petri dish to test your idea. And what I'd recommend is make like 3 games over 3 months, like a game a month, and then upload all 3 of them on itch as a playable in browser. That's very important. You get 10 times as much traffic if you make your game playable in browser. And so after 3, you pick which one ever is the best of the 3. Because I always find people who say like, I'm going to test my game idea on itch. And no matter what the results are, they're like, wow, people are really engaged with the game. I'm going to make it. It's like, no, make 3 games, put them on itch, and pick the best one to be the one that you develop full time. That's my recommendation for Itch. But Itch by itself to promote your game, a little bit, but it's not a major improvement. Steam is where you're going to get most of your traffic.
Sure, excellent. And another question you've talked about sort of wishlist numbers. Is CCU concurrent users? Is there some sort of good useful measures or understanding we can glean from that?
I don't have them. I don't really track that, the CCU. And then the reason is sometimes the genre will dictate the CCU. Like idle games have a very high CCU because people turn it on and then they go to bed and then they come back and their games. So genres can really affect the CCU. So I don't track that as much for Next Fest. What I would really look at, then again, that metric that I would look at is number of impressions, because that will really tell you, Steam will tell you whether they like your game or not.
That's very cool. Very cool. So let's perhaps move on. So we've done before Next Fest. We've got the indicators that maybe we're in a good place for doing Next Fest. We've got our Steam page. It's all nice and manicured. We've got up-to-date screenshots. We've got a good demo. We're getting good engagement with the demo. And then so we're in and we're going for Next Fest. Is there anything that you think during Next Fest? Is it too late? Is it just out there then? Are there any levers we've got left to pull? And are there sort of in the moment indicators that we should be aware of?
Nope. There's not much you can do once it's done. The stage is set, the cake is baked. I hate to tell you, but it's kind of too late. Like Steam is like kind of boring in the fact that it's like it's your game. Outside stuff doesn't. I mean, like I said, a month or so before, content creators may be playing it, but it's really Steam's driving most of that traffic, and there's not much you can do after the fact. Either people like your game or not. I think if you look at this chart, the difference between gold, silver, and bronze, it kind of comes down to whether people like your game and they're engaging with it. And if they're not, Steam's like, we showed your game. What else do you want from us? And here's the thing, folks. People are always like, how do I get more impressions? Everybody's asking for visibility. How do I get more visibility? Oh, there's plenty of visibility. It's the game that matters. Like, you get tons of visibility. It's what you do with the visibility that counts. And if people, like Steam gives almost every game an equal baseline footing. Now, if you don't make anything out of that and people are like, okay, I see your game, but I'm not interested, there's nothing you can do. It's like, that's it. And I hate to do that. Now, one thing that people often, when they hear that minimum baseline, they think everybody gets equal visibility. It's not. It's equal baseline. There's a minimum. Everybody gets a floor. There's a consistent floor. And I'd say it's around 10,000 impressions per day. Okay. That's what that floor is. Those diamond tier, those blue lines, they get tons more visibility because they also appear in the widgets that are on the front page typically, which is new and trending, top most wish listed, most demo played. Those are very high featuring, so they get a ton of extra visibility. So it's not that everybody gets equal visibility, it's they get equal baseline visibility. People always trip up on that one, so I just want to make sure that I call that out.
Nice. And in terms of if you are getting a bit of attention, you are getting a bit of traction, but maybe people are talking about perhaps a bug or something like that. How important is it that we jump on that player feedback that we get during and
That's an excellent question. You should do it. Patch your game as fast as you can, all hands on deck. If there's a major bug, like don't stress your team out to do it. Like, oh man, we got to patch every day. You're probably going to get stressed out, break something. But if there's a major critical bug that's stopping people from playing your game, definitely patch that. And this is another reason why you should always have your demo live. The Steam Next Fest is the finale of your demo, not the debut, because your game's going to be pretty well tested. It's going to be getting that feedback well before Next Fest. Another thing that I saw last Next Fest, and this is a game called Shotgun Cop or Shotgun Man Cop, something like that. They did this thing where they're like, we're going to add levels every single day of Next Fest. And it had no effect. This is Shotgun Man doing his thing. It had basically no effect. The game still didn't do very well. I mean, it did fine and not great, but and this was Devolver. And so I just think nothing beats the visibility that Steam itself generates. Even if you do cool things like adding new content or that, it's kind of set. It really is boring. So all these like gimmicks and tricks to kind of juice the numbers, I just don't think the cake's baked. There's nothing you can do after the fact. You're just saying goodbye and you're sending your kid off to college.
Nice. And it more broadly, so rather than just game feedback, but that actual engagement. So somebody's asked about comments and things like that. The community side of Steam, is it important to be present and engaged there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Be a good citizen. Like, talk to people. If people have bugs or something like that, you should be feeding that and say, hey, thanks. We'll take that feedback. We like you. Be there, but it's not. There's nothing you can do to turn around. I think that's the thing that you have to be present with, is that there's nothing. If you're that bronze tier line that you're looking at right now, I don't think there's anything you could course correct during Next Fest. It's just be present, accept that feedback, but don't expect miracles. I hate to be destroying dreams here. Like, I don't want to make you feel bad, but yeah, it's just kind of, the cake is baked.
Yeah, I don't think you're destroying dreams. You're keeping dreams alive by being real with the subject matter. And there's an interesting question that I know you'll have an opinion on. Do wish lists a month before Next Fest count as much as wish lists that came a year earlier? And I guess that can expand into generic. Do wish lists get old? Is a recent wish list more valuable?
Nope, there's no. I mean, I've done the math. I found one game. I should write a blog post about this guy. I've been meaning to. One game I saw the wish list have the wish list. You can look. You do a couple pivot tables and you can look at when you got the wish list, how many that month converted, and I don't see evidence of wish lists getting old or gamers getting tired. That's when people get tired of my game. Gamers are fully caffeinated. Nobody's getting tired on video games. They don't get tired of your game. So we don't see that trend where you would look at the first month and it's low, and then the month just before you launch, it's like a perfect line like that. I see no evidence. I've looked at many dozens of games, have done this analysis, and I don't see wish lists getting old. But there was one game that I saw that too. So don't worry if it's man, I've been around for a year or something like that. Now, people might universally not want to convert, but that's across the board. That's not tied to time. There's no correlation to age of wish list to conversion rate. They all convert at the same rate across time.
Excellent. Simple question, but is it better to focus on getting views or demo downloads?
I don't think you get that choice.
No, sure.
It's not like there's a button, views or demo down. It doesn't matter.
It's going to be your views are going to be a correlation. If the views go up, you're going to get more downloads.
You don't get that choice. I'm sorry. Here's one thing that you should understand. Let me see if I can pull this up. Ask another question. I'll come back to it with another question. I got to pull up a chart that's going to blow some minds. But keep asking questions. While I prep this next piece of data.
So yeah, there's some stats being shared. I guess we'll just throw some live stats at you. 5 months after releasing demo, over 9,000 players, 47 reviews, 89% positive, 1 hour median playtime, 8,000 total wish lists. How confident would you be to do a Next Fest in that scenario?
Everybody should do Next Fest. Here's the other thing. It's you should do it. The main thing is you don't want to keep doing development forever, because you got to ship your game, folks. The most important thing is releasing your game. And here's the thing is, again, Steam Next Fest is not even the best way to get wishlists. It's just a free thing that everybody gets, okay? So you should do it, and it's not going to match it. Whenever you were going to release your game, stick to that plan and then do the last Next Fest before you release, okay? Don't delay your game because you want a better Next Fest. Again, folks, keep it in perspective. Next Fest is not the best way to get wish lists. There's other festivals that are not guaranteed. The whole reason people obsess about Next Fest is because you are guaranteed to get in. And so people have comparisonitis or what do they call it? Yeah, comparisonitis, but they also overanalyze everything. Just do the last one before you release. That's my big advice. It's good. You have good medium playtime. That's awesome. But don't expect miracles or something like that. Is kind of what I'm trying to get to.
So it seems more mechanical. You hold out as long as you can, and then when you have to release, do the Next Fest before that point. And the stats that you're aware of are going to be indicators, as per the chart that you're sharing here, what level you can expect to perform at.
Yeah. Okay. I got my chart. And here's the story. So you see this Venn diagram, right? You see that?
Yeah.
Here's the secret of Steam Next Fest. Most people don't even play your demo. That's the thing. And this is, you kind of have to go to the quantum realm. You have to think like quantum mechanics when you're thinking of Steam visibility. A lot of people have this like very mechanical, like, oh, impressions to wish list to sales, clean conversion. No, Steam is like the quantum, things are popping in and out of existence. People are coming in from all different angles, and there's no way that you can just math it out and just hope that everything is there. And one of the things is, you will not, I'm pulling up another Venn diagram. Most people don't even play your demo. Even successful games, most people don't play it. This chart here, this green Venn diagram, this is a good game. This game, somebody gave me that. This is a game, okay? This game did fantastic in Next Fest. It got tens of thousands of wish lists during Next Fest. When it went on sale, it sold $1 million. So this is a big game here. This is one game. During Next Fest, they only got 5,000 players and 18,000 wish lists. Okay. The whole thing about Next Fest is that your game is on the front page, and a lot of people will wishlist games like crazy and not actually play them. And that's not bad. That's just the reality of it. And so you have to kind of change your thinking of like, it's not like people are playing it and making a rational evaluation. Like most people played the demo of this game. Again, this is a hit game. 26,000 people played this demo and they're like, nope, I'm not going to wishlist it. That sounds awful. That sounds like the majority of people played this demo and then were like, nope, and never wishlisted it. But this game was a hit game. This is awesome graphics. This is a graphic of an awesome game. This is a median game. So what I did was I took all the games that submitted their data to me and I mashed it together. So this is the median game's performance. It's like 139 people will play and wishlist, whereas 900 will wishlist and not even play the demo. It makes no sense, people. There is nothing logical about this, okay? So I just say this so I'm like, just don't freak out. Don't overanalyze a single number. People are like, well, what about the wish list to view, impression, conversion? And they're like doing all this super math. Just look at the number of impressions you get every day and check my chart. Again, go to howtomarketagame.com/benchmarks. I put all these benchmarks up there so you can kind of have sanity. Just go relax, people. Put your game up. Monitor the forums, make sure nothing bad has happened. Be nice, be responsive. If people are like, oh, there's a bug on level 3 or something. And then just chill out, okay? Don't overanalyze the numbers. Don't look at all this stuff. Just chill out, okay?
That's very cool. There's a question regarding sort of Next Fest versus festivals, and you mentioned there's better ways to get wish lists. So entering the festivals between now and your pre-launch Next Fest, it's worth doing the festivals.
Those are the ones that are awesome, these festivals. That's the ones where some of these festivals will get people like 3, 4, 5,000 wish lists from being in these festivals. These will actually, depending on the festival, not all of them. Some of them are like so overloaded that you only get like a couple hundred wish lists. But you should be doing lots of festivals from here to Steam Next Fest. Steam Next Fest is the grand finale, the ending of it. It is not the beginning of your demo.
Nice. Very cool. So
I see some people in chat. Let me go to one thing. People are talking about this line. So again, let me just show you kind of where if we're talking about timing of Next Fest, this chart, the splatter plot chart that you might probably see now. So again, I did 250 games submitted their data from the last Next Fest, and I just said, how many wish lists did you have before Next Fest, and then how many did you get during Next Fest? That's what the two bars are, okay? And you'll notice, and this is not like I didn't run some complicated regression. I just kind of eyeballed it. It was like, when did games start really having a random chance of popping off higher than they were? And that was about 2,000 wish lists. And now I see people on Reddit quoting this like it's lore, or it's like the algorithm. It's not. I just was like, it just seems like once you get over 2,000 if you enter Next Fest with over 2,000 wish lists, it's like stuff just starts happening. Like you can just see there's more variance in how many wish lists you can earn during Next Fest. The dots have a higher range of going higher. And so I just did it as a rule of thumb. And it's not, and here's the thing, folks. It's not like this is a clear algorithm saying, I'm just showing you that it's it's actually not that random. It's just like, just do the last Next Fest for before you launch. Don't stress out. Try and get as many wish lists as you can before Next Fest. That's the main message you should take away from this, and not get your hopes so high. So if you're going into this Next Fest with not a lot of wish lists, don't like stress out if you don't get a lot of wish lists during Next Fest, because it probably just won't happen, and that's okay. It's your first game. You're gonna have to release a lot of games. Okay.
Good to know. And I feel like we're trying to bleed this sucker dry. But if you do what you said, you're ready to release. You've done the last Next Fest. Is there a magic window of how long after that to release?
Okay, this is another thing that people. I'll pull this date up. Give me a sec. So every indie dev thinks that they're super clever, and they're like, you know what? I got an idea. After Next Fest, right after Next Fest, we're gonna launch our game because we got momentum. And I don't even know what momentum means. I don't think there is anything. So I did an analysis when I looked of how many, this is June Next Fest. I just looked at very simply, I'm going to pull up drop a new data chart here. I looked at, I was like, how many games release every year? Or months after Next Fest. And so here's Next Fest. You see the gray bar. That's during Next Fest. Nobody launches a game during Next Fest, which I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing to launch a game during Next Fest. And then immediately after Next Fest, every indie thinks they're so smart, and they're like, we're going to beat the system. We're going to launch our game right after Next Fest. And it is so crowded because every indie is like launching their game at the same time. You're not outsmarting the system by launching your game. And this is summer. This was the June Next Fest. Nobody launches it during the summer sale, which I think is actually the best time to launch it, is during the Next Fest or during the Steam summer sale, because nobody does. So don't launch your game immediately after Next Fest. Every single indie has that idea, and y'all are just fighting each other. It's not the size of the games that you're launching against. You're like, oh no, there's AAA games launching. That doesn't actually matter. It's the number of games. It's all these little indies all crowding in and trying to like get into this one slot. So watch yourselves. Don't launch immediately after Next Fest. You don't have momentum. I know you think you got momentum. You don't. I'm ruining dreams here again. But just pick a nice chill time. It doesn't. The day you launch your game does not matter as much as you think it does. Just relax. Let's all just take a deep breath. Okay. Now, next question.
So I got too engrossed in your answer, and I stopped reading the questions. When should we aim for the first playtest and how to announce it? I guess this is more in that kind of like releasing demos earlier on. Any general advice or strategy around your playtest or earlier releases of demos?
Yeah, everybody should do a playtest. And the whole thing about the playtest is it doesn't count towards any visibility metrics. Like, you can run as many playtests as you want. There's no like flag on Steam when you launch a playtest or anything. And so I recommend you do that as early as you can, like as early as your game is ready. And don't ask me when I'm ready. Remember, I'm a filthy marketer who knows nothing about art. I'm totally tasteless. I'm a tasteless, crass marketer, so I know nothing about what's good. But what I would do is, when your game is ready for the public to play it, and get feedback from other game developers. And like, is this ready? Because some game developers are really good about feedback. They're saying, hey, your jump is sloppy, or the metagame is weak in the 1 hour time frame. Get that feedback. And when you think your game's ready, then do a playtest. And I don't know when that is. It depends on how good of a developer you are and how fast you are. Then really do that, and then keep doing those playtests until your game is really good. Then you do a demo. And the new thing with Steam is, when you launch a demo, this is new from a year ago, when you launch a demo, you can fire this thing where you push the email, everybody who's ever wishlisted your game, you can email them, say a demo's ready, and you are now eligible to show up in this thing called New and Trending Free, which is a good thing to get into, but you can only do it one time, and it's that one time you launch your demo. And that's why I say do as many playtests as you can, because you can do those and there's no repercussions. But when you launch a demo for the very first time, that's a big moment. Don't do that lightly, because you got one shot to show up in New and Trending Free. And if you miss that, it's not like you're dead, but you just gave up a huge opportunity for some free visibility. That's the main thing.
That's nice. Very cool. This is perhaps not specific to Next Fest, but obviously it applies there. But we've talked about like wishlist numbers and good indicators. There are examples, as somebody references, where games that have lots of wish lists don't convert very well. Do you have any insights into what those might be, or what the things could be that's causing that?
It's usually the game isn't fun. Usually those games that have huge wishlist counts that convert poorly is like the game looks awesome, or it has a really interesting concept. Like just the pitch is really awesome, and people are like, "Whoa, that's awesome!" And then the developers just didn't land the plane. Like the controls were bad, or the game is super buggy, or the game is like it looks like a big epic game, and then it turns out you can solve the game in an hour. And then people are like, I thought this was some epic adventure that I was going to go on, and then it turns out I'm done in an hour. That sucks. And word gets out fast that your game is like that, and it just doesn't convert. So it's I'll tell you folks, the thing about Steam is there's no weird tricks. Like it's like make a good game, and a lot of times the game looks good, but it just doesn't play good. The frame rate's terrible, or it crashes on NVIDIA cards or whatever. So it can be any of those things. That's typically what I see. So
this all reinforces.
Reinforces what?
Reinforces what you're saying about your demo, your playtime. Like if your game isn't good, the metrics are there already. You don't need to wait to next fest or till you've got those indicators already.
That's why I think playtests are so awesome. Playtests and demos, because you learn this stuff. Like if your game's looking awesome and it doesn't play well, you learn that real fast in the demo, and people will leave reviews about that, and you have time to fix it. You could fix it and then still do well. That's the main thing.
Nice. People are loving the charts, and it's been a while since you said the magic words. Where might people be able to find these charts? Are they available somewhere?
howtomarketagame.com, and then just search for Next Fest. They're kind of spread out among a bunch of different blog posts. A good one is howtomarketagame.com/benchmarks, and I have all kinds of benchmarks, like about the demo play time, and then about the number of wish list going into Next Fest. I have it there. One question I saw from Patar was asking about, can you ask for a wish list in your game? Oh, yes, you can. You can totally ask for a wish list within your game. I recommend these are the 4 places you should ask for it. On the main menu, like when you start up, main menu right there, and make it wiggle. Give a logo. It says wish list, and then make it wiggle or throb or blink. Do something to catch the eye. You should do it on the pause screen. So when you pause the game, it should say like wish list, settings. Then when you beat the game, like beat the demo, like you get to the end, it should say, thanks for playing the game, ba-bum, big pop-up, and says, don't forget to wish list. And then the 4th place is when you quit, when you're like done with game, it should do another pop-up that says, we're just the cutest, smallest indies, and we're making our game in our mom's basement, and we're working really hard. Would you like to wish list it? And that's that. That's the 4 places you should ask to wish list your game. You can totally do it. You can't ask for a review in a game. That's one thing that Valve does not allow. Maybe that's what you're thinking of, Patar. But you can definitely ask for a wish list.
Not sure if this is an area you've given much attention to, but I guess similar to the itch question, like soft launching on Epic. Is there any correlation or insights to gain from there? Or
I don't know. Epic doesn't really do anything. If they give you money, do whatever they say. Like if you can get Epic to give you money, sure, take it.
Nice. There was a recent Simon and Carlos post talked about the game Megabonk, saying 90% of their hype came from influencers. I thought the Steam algorithm did far more heavy lifting than influencers. What's your thoughts?
Specifically gone into that, but sometimes I haven't looked at that specific post, but a lot of times what you see is the influencers play it, and that triggers the Steam algorithm, and then they kind of ride up together. And so it's hard to parse those numbers. And sometimes, I mean, it's like, yes, influencers are great, but it's usually the Steam algorithm leaps because of those influencers. So I can't speak entirely of it, but mostly they trigger each other. They do both. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like
that's what I was saying.
Reach out to influencers. That's the final message.
Yeah, they'll increase your chances of the Steam algorithm picking up and doing its thing. They are not mutually exclusive.
Exactly. What's the choice? I always ask, well, what's the choice? What, are you not going to... If Steam gives you visibility, you're like, no, I don't want that. I want only influencer visibility. Like, what's the choice? No, the choice is reach out to influencers. They're very good.
Very cool. We've got requests for reviews. I guess we had the question about putting a wishlist button in. Is a prompt for reviews gonna help? Should we be encouraging people to leave
No,
reviews?
you cannot ask for reviews. That's what I'm saying. Is in the demo, Steam does not like the review prompt. They don't like that. So don't do it. And it doesn't matter. Reviews that's that Goddard's law where you look at the metric and the metric becomes the measure, and so people are farming for reviews. It doesn't impact the algorithm. Valve just cares about people playing the game. That's what the main metric that they're looking at. So don't worry about reviews. Don't farm them. Don't do any of that stuff.
Just let that be, yeah. And it's was it the a good indicator ceases to be a good indicator once it becomes a goal. There's a statement to that effect. You'll start manipulating.
Yeah, there's nothing in the algorithm that benefits reviews. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just chill out. It's just like, just people will play it, and if they want to, they'll leave a review. But there's nowhere in the algorithm that's like, you have to get reviews. Don't. I know there's that 10 review thing, but if you're farming to get to that 10, you're not going to do well anyway. It just happens, okay?
Yeah. It's a useful indicator when you leave it alone. When you try and mess with it, you're skewing the value of those measures, for sure.
Yeah, just relax, everybody. Just focus on making a good game. Okay, don't make a bad one. Okay, if you're like, should I farm for reviews or make a bad game, or should I fix my game that's bad? Fix the bad game. Like, don't make a bad one. Okay, everything else will happen.
So yeah, there's lots of people comparing their wish list numbers. Some people's are low, but I think everything you need to understand is all contextual. If you've been working on your game for 4 years and you spent hundreds of $1,000s, that's going to be slightly different to somebody who's making their first game, and maybe you're going to have a few hundred wish lists. But
here's the thing, folks. Your first game's going to suck. It just will. Like, don't make your dream game your first game. You're going to fail with your first game. You're going to fail with your first 10 games. Just make lots of little games, get them out there, learn the process, learn how to make games. And what I always tell people is, like, what's harder, riding a bike or making a video game? Riding a bike's easier, right? And did the first time you jump on a bike, did you ride the Tour de France? No, you did not. It took you lots of time of getting up, falling down, getting up, falling down, getting up, falling down, and eventually you figure out how to ride a bike. That's what it is with games. Your first 10 games is like getting on a bike. You're just going to fall off. So put on the helmet. Don't spend too long. Ride on the grass. Don't ride on pavement in the middle of the busiest street. Just accept that you're going to fail and make another one and make another one. And riding in the busiest street without a helmet is the equivalent of like quitting your job and making your dream game for your first game and telling your boss to F off and all that stuff. Don't do that. Put on the helmet, do it nights and weekends, small games, rapidly released, and then you're going to figure it out, and then your 10th game will do well. Nobody does well with their first game. I know the Stardew guy. I know about the Stardew guy. That's the rare case, okay? Most games just fail, okay?
Very good, very good.
That was supposed to be inspirational. I hope everybody's clapping after that one, right?
I can hear the applause from here.
I can feel it.
People are buying into that. How much does Next Fest overshadow new and trending games? So that's just like, I guess, is new and trending different during Next Fest? Is there any relationship there?
It changes throughout the day. Well, okay, and it depends if they're asking, because there's new and trending within Next Fest. And it's not usually new and trending. It's like trending games. So there's games that are participating in Next Fest that are trending that have recently sampled wishlist increases. That's one thing. Then there's new and trending globally for Steam. So if you launch your game on the day one of Steam, I can't tell you because Steam always changes things. Every Next Fest and every big sale changes. So I'm never sure. Sometimes they take it away, sometimes they add it. Usually Steam Next Fest, the first day it takes over, and then by the third day, Steam Next Fest is relegated to just a little banner. And so we never know. You never know, but I wouldn't launch my game on the first day of Next Fest for sale for real, because then you won't show up on new and trending for you and stuff like that. Don't launch any demo during Next Fest because everybody's trying to jam in their demo at the last minute. But that's that. I don't know specifically what they're asking. If that answered.
Yeah, no, I think that covers it. Yes, so yes, this is being recorded. It will be available. You're being accused of not being a marketer. You're a data scientist dressed up as a marketer. I'd take that as a
I don't
compliment
like
as well
naming
as any.
I'm just a guy that doesn't trust my own opinion. Like I literally don't know, folks. Like people are like, is this game gonna do well? I don't know, and I have no opinion on stuff. All I go off. That's why I do all these charts because I have literally no opinion. I don't know, and so I'm just a naive man who doesn't trust my own intuition. So I have to do this in order to get whatever that makes me. I just don't know. I literally don't know. I don't know how anybody makes decisions without making a chart about it. So that's all I do.
Nice. Well, I'm conscious of the time. Chris, is there anything else that you want to mention, share about anything you've got coming up, or any other advice that we've glossed over?
Just join the mailing list, folks. It's where all the cool kids are. howtomarketagame.com/free. Turn off ad blockers, sign up. I promise it's there. You just got to turn off those nasty ad blockers. They always make the internet worse. Turn that off. That's it. Just join the mailing list. Every week, I send out a new post studying some aspect of the algorithm or something, trying to figure it out. That's all I'm doing. That's it. Don't follow me on social media. Social media sucks. Everything else, just mailing lists. Mailing lists are the best thing, folks. Just join it. I appreciate Impress for having me on. Thank you both, Ashley and Dan. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, I'll still answer a couple questions. I do have to end pretty soon, but because it's almost lunchtime here.
Okay, well, we'll get them in. I've got a question regarding CCU. Is there any time limit for having a certain number of it at demo launch? I read those words. I'm not sure if I understood what I was asking there.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
CCU is concurrent users. What I asked Valve at GDC because they do these sessions, and we were asked like, well, what do they promote? And Valve's like, it's a machine algorithm, even machine learning algorithm. Even Valve is like, we don't know what metrics the machine learning likes. And the thing is, like, you don't have a choice. And this is the thing where I don't want you to deep dive on the numbers too much. Just like, you don't have a choice. Like, you just don't. Like, just make the best game you can, put it out there. You can't optimize like, oh, I'm going to do a strategy where I optimize for concurrent users. The way you do that is you make an idler. If you want to optimize for concurrent users, you make an idle game. There's no secret formula. Just make a good game, send it out to content creators, and then if it's a good game, all these numbers just go up. Reviews go up, CCUs go up, wishlists go up, everything goes good. Don't over focus on a specific number or something, okay? Nobody knows. Even Valve is like, I don't know, it's just some machine learning algorithm. We just feed it ooze, and then the machine tells us what's good. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It sounded something Lovecraftian what they're talking about. So just, folks, make a good game.
That's great advice. There's a really great question here. Whilst there's make a good game, there's no exact science. You've shared lots of delicious data, as Zukowski refers to it. Where does all this? How are you gathering this delicious data?
If you join the mailing list, so typically after a big moment, like Steam Next Fest or something, if I want to study it, I just put it out on my mailing list. I say, hey, we're in Next Fest. And then I just say, fill out the survey. And then I have a survey, and then people just fill out the survey, and I just compile the data. And then I go for it. And then I just compile into reports. This one here that we're looking at, this one actually comes from Simon Carlos's Game Discover Co. Sometimes I use people who have scraped Steam data, and I collate data that way. That's on one way the data comes. So this one is not people submitting data. This is just me looking at. So hype score is Simon Carlos's thing. So that's that. There was one comment I saw, like Han Terminal 13 says, "Why does Steamworks say that wishlists do not affect your game's visibility?" I'll answer this one. This one is tricky, and it's context. So Valve says there's a pretty good YouTube video. They said, what affects visibility? What they're saying there are some widgets that are affected by wish lists. There are some. So the popular upcoming, you have to get around 7,000 wish lists, 5,000, 7,000 to get into that. So that matters. There are other widgets that affect, but wish lists do not. Yeah, that's Steamworks channel. That's what I'm talking about. But wish lists don't actually matter as much. But the thing is, like, when you launch your game for sale, everybody who wishlisted it get an email, and those emails do very well. So people see that email that says a game you wishlisted for sale, and so they're like, oh, okay. And so they buy it. And then that buying it gets you more visibility on Steam. And so then it increases. So yes, there's a lot. I mean, literally, so this is what Steam says, and this is why, Han, you might be a little confused. The Steam algorithm for promoting your game is based on dollars, like how much money you earn, like how many dollars you get. But if you have more wish lists, you get more dollars, and that's why Valve, it's subtle. It's very subtle. Steam's saying it's based on how much money you earn in their visibility, but people who have more wish lists get more dollars. So it's like they're being literal and people overinterpret it and stuff like that. So get wish lists, get at least 7,000. That's what I say. Increases your chances for your launch to be good, that sort of thing. So just
nice.
It's subtle. There's no one answer. Remember, we're in the quantum realm. Steam algorithm is very quantum. It's very weird.
Excellent. I think I'm going to put you out of your misery, Chris. I think we've covered a lot here, and that's been
miserable.
Not at all. I think it's really. I think the underlying tone of like you need to like take all of these indicators. There is no golden rule. There's no golden number. Follow the beats. Read the back catalogue of howtomarketagame.com. Allow yourself that one binge watch of juicy web content. There's an absolute treasure trove of really useful insights and advice on there. Sign up to the newsletter. As Ash has very subtly been prompting me, what is Impress and what is it good for? How does it help with Steam Next Fest? We have just released a Steam Next Fest checklist. So if you want some of these sort of things, I have to tick, you can literally tick all the boxes if you go to the link that's dropping in the chat. Impress is a indie game marketing platform. It's a toolkit. There is a lot of free tools. There's lots of nice freebies. We've got a press kit generator. We've got coverage monitoring. That's our paid for. But if you're going to be in Next Fest, you're going to be reaching out to influencers. You're going to be wanting to understand this feedback. You want to be measuring your coverage, and that's what CoverageBot is great for. We've also got an early access tool to help you reach out to creators called Launchpad. That is, I say, it's in early access. You can, on the Impress website, you can register your email. If you drop a note in the Launchpad channel, we can fast track you to get access to that. That's currently free. So you want to get in, have a look at that. We also have a discount code called NextFest10, which is very topical. So that will get you a 10% discount. And we've also got a server. If you just want to help support us, there's a Impress server tag on Discord. We would really appreciate, and we're really grateful for all of the boosts. You sold out our capacity, Chris. So your popularity knows no ends. I think we tried to wrangle that and increase that. We've had a great turnout, which has been really amazing. But overall, Chris, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for listening and the amazing questions. I've learned a lot. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. And howtomarketagame.com. Go and check that out. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, you're great people. Thank you so much for having me.